many times people begin to involve family. There's the bias of family members. There is the inexperience that also comes. Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Trust you've been doing well, trust you're okay. I'm just going to get right into it because I have my sweet mommy here. So today I've brought, she doesn't like when we say mommy, but okay, Mrs. O, or Glamour. She's Glamour now by extension, yeah. She's BB's Glamour. Her name is Mrs. Temitope Olagbegi. She is an interior designer, but majorly she's a marriage counselor, a therapist. She's played an excellent role over my life, my life and my husband's life since we've been dating. And I just thought, what an opportunity it would be to bring her to you guys today. You should Google her. This is one of you that if you Google like this, you do like this, you'll be like, Aisha, how did you bring this wonderful Maya? You pay me back. So today I just like have a few questions. I just want her to have a heart-to-heart with us. Subsequently on this channel, we'll talk about like relationships and life and stuff like that. And so I just want her to be like the first person I'm bringing. Signs that we have a child in the house, so it's a good sign. Anyway, it's going to be like a Q&A, but I'm going to allow her speak from her deep wealth of experience and wisdom. She's been married for 25 years now, and of course, in this day and age, to see a 25-year-old marriage still growing strong, because I've been in this house for more than 1 week now. Me, I'm thinking, oh my Lord God, we just married 4 years ago, not even 4 years ago. Our love is not blossoming like this. Ma, what's the secret? So yes, we'll start with that. Is there a secret? Perhaps yes, perhaps no. But before I get on, hi everybody, welcome to Aisha's channel. Please like, subscribe, and leave your comments.
Thank you.
So is there a secret? I suppose it is marry your friend, as well as be prepared to do the work of keeping the friendship. Yeah, so many people indeed marry their friends, but then they don't anticipate that there's work to be done in ensuring that the love blossoms and the friendship blossoms. And so they just don't know, or are not equipped with the right skills to work on the friendship. So I just say marry your friend and be prepared to do the work of nurturing the friendship.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mom. So it's not enough to just marry your friend on social media. Yeah, marry your friend. There's work to be done in the marriage to your friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much, Mom. What should one look for in a partner? I'm not sure if we can say what should a woman look for in a man first and what should a man look for, or if there are similar traits that each person, either male or female, have to watch out for before they say, okay, I can be with this person. And it also goes like the other way. What traits do you need to have? What habits, characters do you need to have before you be like, yes, I think I'm ready for marriage or a serious relationship?
Okay, so we'll start with what should you look out for when you are choosing a life partner. And there are quite a number of things that are important to look out for. It sounds cliche, but the truth is marry somebody that you are of same faith. Same faith, very similar faith values. Because you can be married to somebody who is perhaps a Christian, but then your Christian values are not same. And what do I mean by this? People can be Christian, but if you believe in tithing and the other party doesn't believe in tithing, there are you can see that there are differences even with their approach to faith. And so marry somebody with same faith and same faith values. The other is, like I said before, ensure that you're married and you're marrying your friend, somebody that you can be open and vulnerable with, somebody you can be truthful with, someone who you can play with, somebody who you have learned to understand and understands you. I think that is, very important. And your friend is not only for the good times. Your friend is also for the tough times. Will this person be with you? Be friends with you? stay there to console you in the not so good times? Is the person able to encourage you and offer the support that you require in the not so good times? Because they are fair weather friends, and there are relationships that are, wired that way. They've been structured that way from the get-go, where it's only when it's good, we gel, and when it's not so good, everybody just finds their level. Yeah. Another thing that I'd also say is check the person's family values, beliefs, and check the person's background. In the old days, when people want to get married, they'd go do research. It doesn't happen quite so much these days, but it was of a lot of value in the old days, where you kind of find out what the generational patterns are. You kind of find out, if there are things to worry about, in the extended family. And it's for all of these reasons and more, it's important to get close enough to the family, see what their belief system is like, see what the family is structured, how the family is structured. Because believe it or not, yes, we say that you're married to the individual, but you're also married to the family, and family influence individuals in that they are the people who speak into your partner's ears. When the family is speaking in a language that you don't understand, right, there will definitely be conflict in the union. And so do the research. Should I stop there?
No, why, you can continue, please.
So what else? Have healthy conversations. Ready to have the difficult conversations, conversations around money, conversations about children, conversations about friends, what people do for fun. These are all the details that are necessary to investigate and be curious about before you get married. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you. And so I believe that this serves as the tasks to do while dating.
Yes.
So this is our generation now. People are like, my boyfriend cannot stop me from meeting my husband. Like, some people are dating some guys, but then they're still in search of a husband rather. I think people are trying to date as many people in order to find the one person that's but in this day and age where there's online dating now, you necessarily might not be able to, where everybody's relocating, you might not have the luxury of going home to like find out the person's family. What way can you bridge the gap? What can the dating phase really be like when you actually be like, okay, I'm ready to date this person? And do you also think it's okay to not court, maybe date a number of people, like go out, try to talking stage, they call it talking stage?
I think it's healthy to have many friends, I think it's healthy in the sense that you've not committed to anything. You're getting to know people. You are not making promises. You're not leading anybody on. You're just getting to know people. And if indeed we want friendship to be the basis of a strong relationship, then we need to get into the culture of having friends. But spelling it out that we're not exclusive, we're just friends, yeah. And when you do start talking to somebody seriously, you don't necessarily have to share with other people that you're finally dating, but it is very unfair to yourself and to the person you're dating if you're still seeing several people. You can't give 100%, and you wouldn't want, it's a law of reciprocity here. Don't do what it is you wouldn't like be done to you.
Yes.
Following up on your second question, where you're asking about dating and having to find out family backgrounds with so many people having relocated and with online dating happening, how do you then know? One of the things that I subscribe to a lot is people learning how to communicate. And so how does that tie into finding out about family backgrounds? When we learn to communicate, we learn how to ask the right questions. Many times we enter questioning mode. And questioning mode is you've almost like let the cat out of the bag. The person is defensive, the person is saying all the right things. But when we allow conversations to flow, people by themselves will volunteer information. Yeah. There is something called Socratic questioning, open-ended questions, where you ask questions that are not a yes or no answer, and those lead to several other questions, But a sound friendship, a good enough friendship, is one where the person feels comfortable enough to share the relevant information. This is also very dependent on people's personalities, because there's some people, as much as they're friends, they're a bit closed about their family backgrounds, and those are some of the things to investigate. All right. Are you closed because of past trauma? As a result of the attachment style that a person has had, is why they're a bit closed? Is it a temperament thing? So I say that we all and each need to develop emotional literacy, where you've learned about emotions, you've learned about temperament, you've learned about all the relevant parts to human behavior, right? Yeah. Many people are lacking and deficient in how to relationship because they haven't learned the fundamentals of relationship. And so asking all these open questions, you will get information. And when you do get to move the relationship to a deeper level, when you meet the family, interact with the family, get to know them, and you'd be surprised how much information you would learn by an evening out or lunch on the dinner table. It's amazing the volume of information that can be learned about personalities and the family setup by these basic interactions.
Wow. Thank you so much, ma'am. This is me just talking to you now. I feel like a lot of people just don't understand the amount of work that actually really goes on in like building relationships, and it's just, I like this guy, he's cool, he seems like from a rich family, and then he ticks my list. There's so much work, and I think it was Pastor Iran that was talking about it, that the fact that God tells you that this person is your person doesn't mean there will still not be work to be done.
Fact.
In the marriage. Fact. So people feel like, if we're having issues, I must have missed it, maybe I didn't hear God well. But then it was a profound thing when I heard it. Like, God can tell you to marry this person, but it does not mean there still won't be work. Yes, it doesn't mean there's still going to be work. So, thank you, ma'am. I just wanted to add, one of the things that really helped Dami and I was having like accountable people to be accountable to. I think that's going too deep. I just wanted to touch surface, like we people should pay for counseling and attend counseling, because we actually did the course. Yes, Dami and I did the course while we were dating, and he helped us learn a lot about temperament. And then like we just didn't attend, we actually like did the course, we did the work, and it really, really opened our eyes to like the kind of the differences that we had and how we could work together and a lot of things. So I really recommend, but you should contact us. In fact, you'll see all the details in the description box. But I just wanted you to quickly touch on like first 5 years, what to expect, because now we've moved from dating and then you're married. The discussions and all of that will kind of continue, but I think it's going to be at an advanced level. I heard Mrs. Tara say it a long time ago. I think in her first year she was like, she's going back to her father's house, she's not doing this anymore, and things like that. What do you think are the major things that people experience in the first 5 years, and how can we, I'm sure it's going to be different for everybody, but how can we prepare essentially for the differences for those first 5 years?
It's great to be having this conversation on what to expect, because many people assume that it's going to be all flowers and clicking your champagne glasses, and it's going to be dates and finishing your sentences. Well, wake up. It's different for different people, but I'll speak to just a few things that seem to be universal. And one of those is that they expect to have a lot of quarrels, expect to have a lot of disagreements, expect it because of the concept of leaving to cleave. And people actually think that takes place when you say I do. In the physical, yes, it does take place. You leave your father's house and you're moving into a home that you're sharing with your partner, but that is the physical leaving to cleave to your person. there's the emotional, the psychological, there's the financial, living to cleave, where you are coming together to have an understanding, a deeper understanding on how this person responds to emotions. How does this person express their emotions? How does this new partner of yours deal with things, financial decisions? How does this person make financial decisions? And there's all that going on. And then there is the, how do we both work it out? So there's that tension, and more often than not, when people get married, they haven't fully mastered even their own emotions. They've not fully mastered or understood what their money personality is. And so they're coming together with somebody who also hasn't done the work of understanding their emotions. And so imagine that there would most certainly be conflict between both parties. Yeah. And so that is to be expected. But it should also be expected that, like I said at the start, we need to do the work of maintaining and nurturing the friendship. Okay? And so when these conflicts come, we often think this is the end. It's spelling we no longer love each other. Oh, he no longer cares about me. Oh, she's falling out of love with me. Nothing is further than the truth. You both still care about each other. You are just finding out about all of these factors and stuff that concern the other person, and it has nothing to do with how you feel about each other. You need to work at resolving these conflicts and the tension that's happening within the relationship, and you'd be fine. The second thing I also want to mention is something called buyer's remorse. And my husband had used an analogy of a hamper, that when you get married, it's like those Christmas hampers that you get where there are different things in the hamper. But many times when you open the hamper, it's really lovely, and there are chocolates and there are stuff, but there are also stuff that you don't quite like, or some things that you don't eat. So that's the hamper analogy. And so many of us get this hamper, and then in marriage, when we're opening up the wrappers and the ribbons, we're like, oh, I don't eat this, and I don't eat that, and I don't eat that. And then you begin to ask, oh my goodness, is this what I ordered? All right, that is to be expected, and it's also a phase that we would overcome, because the truth is that nobody's perfect. And because there's no perfect person, the 80-20 rule, there would be 20% that you may not be extremely passionate or crazy about, but that 20%, all right, is often what makes people begin to catastrophize the relationship. They begin to say, oh my goodness, I can't deal with it. But in the grand scheme of things, it is just 20%. Can we focus on the 80% that the hamper is holding and carrying? All right. And can we focus less on the 20%? Many people have chased after the 20%, forgetting the 80% that they have as partners.
Word. The role of accountability while dating and even when married.
Yeah. Accountability is very important. Who are you accountable to, and who is your partner accountable to? Yeah. So people have career mentors, people have work mentors, but they don't have relationship mentors. And it's the same principle behind it. You have these people who have gone ahead of you, who understand the terrain, and as a result of their experience, they are better able to handhold a person to achieve their goals quicker. And so having a relationship mentor is very important, because you've got people who you can bounce your ideas off, you can bounce some of the challenges off, and are able to give you sound advice, not internet advice. They're able to give you practical. God-led advice, because they have been through these things at some point or the other in their relationship. And so I would say, but it's also good for couples to pre-agree before they marry that in the event that we have issues that we're each very strong about and we need to speak to a third party, who do you feel comfortable that we speak to? It needs to be something that is discussed. Yeah. And both of you agree that this is the person who I wouldn't mind you bringing our issues to. Many times people begin to involve family. Family, there's the bias of family members. There is the inexperience that also comes because they're not professionals. They are unable to perhaps equip the couple with the skills that are necessary to overcome the challenge. Accountability is very important, and what accountability looks like is not going with a notebook to meet your relationship mentor. It is the visits, it is the hanging out, it is the occasional conversation. You expose yourself to what family life looks like. I do want to mention that when both parties are open and vulnerable with each other, you would learn about people's history, you learn about their upbringing, all right? And you would learn about the situation around their upbringing. And what that simply means is you get to learn if they saw certain things firsthand. Did they have or see a present father? Did they have or see a present mother? Did they see a relationship that was modeled to them that worked? All right. We take all of these conversations for granted. Now, if we're open, and this is why it's essential to be friends, when people are open and vulnerable with each other, they would each share what was perhaps deficient in their upbringing. And those are the things that one should be looking for in a relationship mentor. All right, the areas where I didn't see it quite this way, yes. And this is what it is that I want for myself. Yes. Yeah,
that's how I met her, by the way.
You may not also even have. I mean, it's easy to say these things, but some people don't even know what to expect or how to envision because they haven't seen it. When you expose yourself to things, healthy family dynamics, you then begin to conceptualize. You then can see that, this is possible. And then perhaps this is what I want.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for that one. We're not going to say how I was when I met her, but we're going to say that when I met her, I knew that I wanted something different from what my family dynamics looked like, and I'd seen what she was doing, and I knew that she had shown me that it was possible to have a great family, and then that's when I ran to her crying.
And this was 2016.
This was 2016, yes. Almost 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yes, 8 years.
8 years ago. Wow. We've come a long way, haven't we?
I just want to shed some light on accountability and having mentorship and all. I'm not in her DMs every day. I'm pretty sure she doesn't mean find somebody that you say, Ma, today we spoke about spaghetti being his favorite food, and it's not about things like that. But you and your partner, which is what Dami and I know, my husband knows that if I misbehave, she's someone he can call immediately that will put me to order. And I know the same thing, right? So while we were dating, we went to see her. Like I said, we took her course and all of that. Before I even met him, for a good amount of time, every conference she was, a speaker on, I would attend because I really wanted to listen to her. And so I would say I was honored because I tried. I reached out to her, I literally went to meet her, and then she gave me a number and said I could reach out. So I feel like there are people that you can actually reach out to speak to, and don't abuse it. So as much as a lot of my mom is, I'm going to say be free, I still give myself brain. I don't, you don't abuse the opportunity that you're given. Don't disturb, but then I know in the depth of my that if I'm going through anything that I know that it's pretty serious, I can message her and I know that I will get a response.
And let's talk a little bit about this mentorship thing, because it's a two-way street. You see somebody that you like and you'd like the person to take you under their wing, all right? You've seen the person and admire the person because perhaps the value that the person brings to the table. Value recognizes value. And so as much as the mentor has got value, the mentee has value that they can also bring to the table. So you're not coming empty-handed, so to speak. It says a lot when someone says, I want to attend your conferences. I want to be there at your conferences. Okay? That means I also value myself. I want to learn. All right? You're 10 times to be taken more seriously than the average person who just messages when they're in dire need of advice or whatever it may be. All right? One of the things she also did, and she did very well, is I always emphasize this, and this is just basic etiquette. All right? You come to visit somebody, the person hasn't charged you for coming to see them. All right? Make sure if it is only a bottle of granules, all right, make sure that you're self-respecting enough to at least or buy into something that the person is doing. All right? No mentor wants a freeloader. Do you understand? Yeah. You accrue a lot of respect and regard when you learn to do things appropriately. And that's one of the things that I have come to love about Aisha.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much for that. I'm very sure, in fact, I'm super sure that you've been able to pick one or two things. Okay. I'm not going to extend this further, but if you need hand holding, she has a lot of information that you can digest that's almost free. Like, if you as much as follow on Instagram, her stories, her captions, oh my god, I can tell you that you can build your marriage only by reading her caption. I'm being very honest with you, but if you need to, speak to her one-on-one, she offers counseling sessions and like therapy sessions and all of that. So just your partner, but most importantly, pre-marriage counseling, I 1,000,000,000% recommend. Yes, she's a pastor, but first, she's very, very certified and trained. So in our conversations, we mention God, but when she's being professional, she's not going to push the God agenda on you. So I 1,000% recommend that, you can reach out, especially for premarital counseling. I feel like that's the best wedding gift you can give yourself before you get married. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you for doing this for us. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy the rest of your week or your day. Bye.